Hello, I'm Neil Quigley and welcome to the latest episode of my Blogcast. Hope you're well and you've had a good couple of weeks. In June, there are two big events that my girlfriend and I always attend. They tend to be on consecutive weekends, or on one occasion, they were literally the day after each other. Thankfully this year, because it is good to space them out a little bit, they were on the Saturday and then the following Saturday. These events are Taste of London and Royal Ascot. This year, Taste of London was first. We went there for the Saturday afternoon session. This is an event that Linda introduced me to. She is a big foodie. She likes nice, different, interesting food and likes going to places where she can try different food and also buy accompaniments that you can use to enhance the taste of your food as well. And this is absolutely perfect for everything she loves and enjoys. And it's a great fun day out as well. It takes place in Regent's Park. We tend to get there round about 11 o'clock, 11:30 to start queuing. The gates open at midday. And the other thing we do with our tickets is we always get VIP tickets, which are great for a couple of reasons. Firstly, you get to use the VIP entrance, so the queue is a bit shorter. Secondly, there is a VIP section with seats and areas where you can sit, relax and eat your food that has a bar area and a DJ playing as well. Also, on arrival to that area, you do get a complimentary glass of champagne, and who doesn't like that? The other thing you get with that ticket is you get 3 meals included, because each of the many pop-up restaurants they have there, and they're all top London restaurants who bring small kitchens there and supply a selection of some of the food that they serve in their restaurants normally. They offer some signature dishes and an exclusive dish, which obviously costs slightly different prices, with the exclusive being more expensive. On the VIP ticket, you get 2 signatures and 1 exclusive meal included within your ticket price. If you want anything additional, you can have it. Obviously, you just have to pay for that as you go along. There was a group of us who went and everybody arrived on time, so we got in the queue when we wanted to, which meant we got to the VIP area quite quickly and ahead of a lot of people who were turning up, which was good on this particular day because it wasn't the nicest day. It was relatively warm, but it was quite wet. And there were several showers throughout the day, quite heavy as well. So we managed to get to the VIP area, find ourselves a table under cover, and then when we needed to go out and get some food or have a look round, we took it in turns and left at least some people there protecting and keeping our table and chairs. That meant we could nip in and out of the VIP area in between the showers, and the sun was coming out in between the rain. So we'd take turns in going out and getting some food and then bring it back to the VIP area. As I am a celiac, therefore have to be on a very strict gluten-free diet, I only actually feel safe eating at any of the restaurants where all of their food is gluten-free. If they have a gluten-free option, that's good, but the restaurant space they have there is so small. It's very difficult to guard against cross-contamination if they have other dishes that have gluten in. So for my own safety, I wasn't touching any of the pop-up restaurants that had anything made with gluten in them. That did limit my selections to 3 or 4 of the many places you could go. However, the food was fantastic. I got 2 of my dishes from Mimosa, which is based at the Langham Hotel. They happened to be doing on this day all gluten-free options, so I had 2 of theirs to try, and there was another place that was fully gluten-free as well, so I had a dish from them. All the food I had was lovely. It is well presented, as you'd expect for that class of restaurant. The ingredients are sometimes slightly unusual and left of centre, but the food all tasted great. So I went out in sessions, 1 meal at a time, got it, had a walk round, went back, ate it in the VIP area undercover, generally while it was raining. That just worked absolutely perfectly. It happened to be the same day as the Trooping of the Colour, and nowadays, as part of that event, of course, you do get the RAF fly pass, so we got to see many of the planes, including a very brief glimpse of the Red Arrows, which I still always love seeing those planes. I don't know why. I have since I was a kid, but I always find it quite exciting. So that was a nice added bonus, seeing them with their smoke on in the red, white and blue go past. That was nice. The session itself we were at was from 12 until 4. It goes so quickly, the time, but there are lots of freebies to be had, lots of people trying to promote their various products, lots of water and fruit-based drinks to hand out, as well as many other stalls and stands with a great selection of alcohol, soft drinks, different types of food, anything you could imagine pretty much. I found for dessert some very nice popcorn that I was aware of and had had before that I knew was fully gluten-free. So I had that worked. Also trialed some alcohol-free cider that I found there, all of which was fantastic. On the way out, there's a couple of photo opportunities. They have a massive taste sign, which everybody had a picture posed against, which looked great. I also found a giant 12-foot fork, so I had my picture taken with that, trying to pull as many silly and different poses as I possibly could. When we left Taste of London, half of the people who we were with headed off to go in different directions, but another couple who were down for the weekend for Taste of London, we'd already pre-arranged with them to go out for some drinks, and we'd booked somewhere to have some food and some more drinks later in the evening. So we did a very quick and impromptu pub crawl, making our way very slowly from Regent's Park to Leicester Square. We stopped off at a pub I know near to where I work, which was great. It was a nice little pit stop on the way, and they just so happened to have one of the Euro 2024 football games on. So I managed to get a sneaky look at that while we were chatting and catching up. Next off, we thought we'd better head towards our final location. I did try to take everybody into my favourite Irish pub in London, Waxy O'Connor's, just off Leicester Square, but predictably on a Saturday evening, it was absolutely rammed. So we stuck our head in for a very quick look round and then decided against it. We were trying to decide where we might go when it started raining again, which meant we basically piled into the first place we found that had any seats in that area. As it turned out, that was a nice pub, and we had another drink in there. That took us up to our reservation, which we'd made at the Cork and Bottle, which is a wine bar on Leicester Square that Linda and I discovered almost by accident after a birthday night out for me, where we'd been to the theatre straight from work and hadn't had chance to eat. So we were looking for some food late night in London after 11 p.m. We found this place that was open, that was still serving food, called the Cork and Bottle. We went there. The food was fantastic. The wine is amazing. And it's a really nice atmosphere and a good look to it when you actually get into the restaurant part of it. If you look at it from street level, it just looks like a really old-fashioned shop front from the 80s. But when you head down the spiral staircase, it does suddenly turn into a nice continental traditional wine bar, which is great. They have a massive selection of wine in there, and they also do a brilliant cheese selection. We'd booked a table and we all decided to have the cheese selection. I had been there before, so I knew they could cater for me and give me gluten-free bread and gluten-free crackers to go with my cheese. So we did that. I'm still not drinking any alcohol as I'm still being troubled by my daily headaches. So as it turned out, on their menu, they did have a alcohol-free red wine. So I thought I would give that a try. It was quite expensive, really, and you had to buy it by the bottle, but we were on a big weekend out, so I thought, why not? And I knew it would go well with the cheese, or certainly better than, say, an orange juice. It was a lot nicer than the previous wine I had tried from a local supermarket. It did taste okay, but as you'd imagine, it's hard to replicate the full-bodied and full alcohol wine. But it was nice, and I was happy to have that along with the cheese. We stayed in there for probably 2 or 3 hours, enjoying the wine, enjoying the cheese, and just having a chat and having a generally good time in lovely company. So that was brilliant. We left there, I think, about 10:30, 11 in the end. Said goodbye to the couple we were with who were staying in London, heading back up north the following morning. Linda and I headed home on the train and got back home at a reasonable time. The sensible thing to do after being out all day would have been to have had one more drink, then head to bed. However, us being us and it being the weekend, we ended up watching 2 or 3 different things that we'd saved from the week on the television. The following Saturday, it was Royal Ascot, an event I've now been going to for at least 7 years, and I do absolutely love it. I am a horse racing fan. The race meeting itself attracts a great calibre of horses, and the races are always exciting and dynamic. And I just like the whole occasion, the whole traditional way that everything is set up for Royal Ascot. We go with some friends of ours, another couple who are great fun and also come every year to Royal Ascot. We managed to work it so we share a taxi. They stay at one of their parents' houses, which is not far from where we stay at a hotel in Maidenhead. This year we just booked one night in the hotel in Maidenhead and travelled over there on the Saturday morning, ready to pick up the taxi that we had coming for us to take us with the other couple to the racecourse. As it happened, I used to work in Maidenhead in my early 20s at this computer company. The building that used to house that computer company had since been knocked down, and the Premier Inn had been built exactly where it was. So I was staying at the location where I spent about 2 years working. Although the building was obviously completely different, it was still the exact same location, which felt a bit weird. We got ourselves to Ascot for about 12:30. It is ridiculously busy. We book ourselves into the Queen Anne enclosure, which is the one below the Royal enclosure, and I just like it for so many reasons. You get lots of space, you get to go in the main entrance, and it gives you a lot of good access to the bandstand for the sing-song at the end of the day. Lots of bars, lots of restaurants, good views of the racing, just works perfectly. There is a bit of a queue to get in. I did treat myself to one of the race cards because it's good to keep an eye on what's happening and what's going on as the afternoon progresses. We have managed to find ourselves a great spot to go. It is an area that actually is right next to the Royal enclosure, and it attracts a lot of people who also are from that enclosure. So you see lots of people with the traditional morning suit and top hat in there. However, it's not actually part of the Royal enclosure, and anyone in the Queen Anne enclosure can go there. So we headed straight there and managed to find ourselves a nice table. It's got a bar nearby. The toilets aren't too far away. You can watch the racing on a screen, and it's right near the area where the horses head out onto the racetrack and when they come back in to the winners enclosure at the end of the race. So you get to see the horses nice and close on the way out, on the way back in. It's also the point at which the royal procession comes in off the racetrack and heads towards where they go for the royal box and the parade ring. So we get a great view of when those carriages arrive. It was King Charles and Queen Camilla who were in the lead carriage on the day we were there. As it happened, just as the king went past me, he took off his top hat to raise it, I guess, to everyone, but I was standing right by him when he did that. I managed to take a great photo of him tipping his hat to me, which I claimed it was him personally acknowledging me, which I still like to think it was. And it's difficult to prove it wasn't unless you've got access to ask him yourself. And hopefully you haven't, because that may disprove my theory. But I like the fact royalties at this meeting. I like the way that it's all conducted in that very traditional English way. We had a great afternoon. The weather was fantastic. We had a great place to sit and enjoy the racing from. Another part of going to the races at Royal Ascot is to dress up in your suits and your dresses, follow the dress code and just look amazing. So we had plenty of pictures taken of us in our outfits for the day. The couple we were with had a couple of very decent winners. I had absolutely no winners at all. Couldn't pick a horse at all on the day. Linda had a couple of places and she did have a winner in the selection we did the tote go round and basically offer you a lucky dip for a tenner. So it's £10 worth of bets that they've just made up themselves, and it could be anything. You select an envelope blind and see what's there. I got nothing for mine. Linda did get one winner, but it cost £10 for this lucky dip, and she won £8.20. So she almost got her money back. That said, that's a lot better than I did, so she did well there. After the racing has finished, there is a traditional sing-song around the bandstand. There's a military band that play, they get a singer there, and they just play to the crowd and do lots of either traditional English songs and some well-known songs that you just know everybody will sing along to. So it's just a great big sing-song for about 40 minutes, and everybody who is there still joins in. And then because it was the last day of the festival this year, there is always a bit of an after party. So there's a DJ playing, the bars and food places are still open, so you can still have a few drinks, have a bit of a dance. We were throwing out a few shapes and a few moves there, which was brilliant. We left in the end about 8 o'clock and got a taxi back to where we were staying in Maidenhead. We had decided to try and get some food, which when I'm part of the party isn't that easy. One of the people we were with had kind of set her heart on having a nice Indian meal after a day's drinking, which makes sense. Sadly for me, and as it turned out for her on this occasion, Indians are not always great with the gluten-free options, and I can find it quite difficult to eat there. Linda managed to find, next door to the Indian they were thinking of going, a tapas bar, and that type of food is generally more accommodating to the gluten-free diet. And when we looked at their menu, it was very well labelled with what was gluten-free, so that gives me quite a bit of confidence. So Linda booked us a table there, and we arrived there just in time for our booking, because as you can imagine, it is a bit of a nightmare getting out of Royal Ascot with that many people trying to leave at the same time. So it took a while for us to meet up with our taxi driver, who was great, and to get us to where we needed to go. The restaurant was great. Staff were so friendly and so nice. It was very easy to go through the menu. They were very good with me and the menu, explaining everything and reassuring me that they knew what they were up to. And it has to be a manager who takes my order. The manager will deliver my order. I just selected my own food. So I had my own mini tapas, not sharing. I'm not a man who particularly likes to share food anyway. So I can use my celiac disease and the fact that there can't be any cross-contamination to just have my own 3 choices of meals. The rest of them ordered lots of different dishes, and they all shared them and tried them between them. And the food was brilliant, so nice, so tasty, and it all looked great as well. So we all had a nice big feed at the end of the day. Then we went our separate ways, Linda and I back to our hotel. Our other friends disappeared back to where they were staying, and we've already said we're definitely going to do Royal Ascot once again next year, because it is just so much fun. It was another great day's racing spent with great friends, just having a good time in the sunshine. What is not to like? Perfect way to spend a June afternoon. I'm still going through a course of acupuncture in the hope that will help with my constant headaches. I had my second session recently. In session 1, because it was the first time I'd ever had it done, she kind of eased me in, I've now found out, and she only put some pins in my hands, in my feet, and in the bottom of my leg. I knew I was going there for headache issues. I wasn't sure how it worked, whether there's different pressure points where you can put pins that will affect what happens in the head. There probably are. Also as well, seemingly you put the pins in the area you're actually treating. So there was some pins, one in my head and one in my stomach this time round, which was fine. Again, they didn't hurt. It just is a little bit strange when you kind of know what is happening. I didn't look, but then again, I don't like needles of any sort enough to look, but it was really relaxing. I found myself almost falling asleep, and I was very zen all the way through the treatment. So we'll keep going with the course as advised by the therapist, but hopefully it will help, and that will be brilliant. But I am quite liking the acupuncture and actually looking forward to the next session. I have been watching as much of Euro 2024 as I can, hoping that England can find some form and get themselves finally some silverware in a big international competition for the men's team. That will be very nice. Hopefully that can happen. Sometimes it's not the teams that start the best and the quickest off the mark that win these competitions. I'm hoping that's the case with England, and they'll build as things go through. And now we're into the knockout stages, things will get more interesting. I do remember when I was younger, the Euros used to be really quick. They were done and dusted in 2 weeks. Now, obviously, they've added more teams. It does take the whole month. So we've got lots of football still to look forward to. Talking of football, the fixtures have been released for the Premier League next year. So I'm finally able to start planning things from the start of August onwards, because I know roughly, at least, when Tottenham are going to play their home games. Although it is really annoying as a season ticket holder, because they release all these fixtures and assign them to when they should be played. But then a lot of the matches get changed for TV. But the television companies don't have to confirm which matches they want to show until about a month before. So I have to block out several days until a month before I know when the games are, so I don't double book myself and miss a game, which is a bit of a pain. The best thing about the fixtures this year is, for the first time in 6 years, Tottenham Hotspur actually have a home game for their last game of the season. So I'm already looking forward to that. That should be a good day. Just a reminder that you can hear my radio show Saturday afternoons between 2 and 4 at radio9springs.com. That's it from me. Stay safe, look after yourselves and each other, please, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.